Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We are just hours away from the 2018 NFL Draft, and it is slowly shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable drafts in recent memory. So today we're going to do a mini mock draft where I'm going to predict the top 10 picks of round one. And as we all know, the Cleveland Browns have the number one pick of this year's draft, and they desperately need a quarterback. And that is why I believe they will choose Josh Allen, the quarterback out of Wyoming, with the number one pick in this year's NFL Draft. Now, I know a lot of people think that they will choose Sam Darnold. That is one of the consensus favorites to be the number one pick. A lot of people also think the Browns could take Baker Mayfield. Reports have come out saying that the Browns have narrowed it down to Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield. I just feel that Allen is a little bit more pro-ready. Baker Mayfield is still very talented, will still be a very high pick. I think Allen just holds a slight edge over him in terms of accuracy, better decision-making, and I think he will go number one over there. But I would not be surprised to see Darnold or Mayfield at number one as well. Number two, with the New York Giants with the second overall pick, a lot of people believe they will take Saquon Barkley. But if the Browns do come through and take Josh Allen, I believe that Sam Darnold is too much talent for the Giants to pass up, especially as Eli Manning continues to get older. He's near the end of his career. They need a solid backup. They need a future for their franchise. As talented as Saquon Barkley is, they need a solid quarterback to back Manning up, especially if he struggles like he did last year. Darnold is the man to do that, assuming he is not taken number one. I do believe that if he is taken first overall, the Giants will take Saquon Barkley. But for right now, I believe the Giants will take Sam Darnold with the number two pick for the future of their franchise when Eli Manning retires. The New York Jets get the third pick in the draft, and I think they take Josh Rosen. 3 straight quarterbacks being taken, not unheard of. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. But I think Rosen would be the best of the quarterbacks remaining at this point. The New York Jets definitely need a quarterback. They're still struggling. They have Christian Hackenberg. They have Bryce Petty, Teddy Bridgewater, Josh McCown, who played fairly well last season, but none of those are your franchise quarterbacks. Now, they might be able to get by a little bit with Teddy Bridgewater as Josh Rosen learns the system and gets developed, but I think he is the most pro-ready quarterback out of this quarterback class. This could be the answer for the New York Jets. Could be a long-term commitment. Could be a long-term franchise leader. Rosen is probably going to be their guy for the Jets franchise. And then the Browns get another pick at number 4. After they get their franchise quarterback or another potential quarterback in Josh Allen, keep in mind they do have Tyrod Taylor that they acquired in free agency. They have a very stacked offense. They have him and they have Jarvis Landry. So they have 2 very solid playmakers there. They're going to get another huge playmaker, Saquon Barkley, who can just do about everything. He is a solid running back. He can block. He can catch passes out of the backfield, and he can return kicks. So a lot of people think that with the Browns, as long as Saquon Barkley is still on the board, I think they will take him. If Saquon Barkley is off the board, they think they will take Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb will still be on the board here, but I think Saquon Barkley is just too talented for the Browns to pass up. Their defense is still fairly solid. I know the idea of having Bradley Chubb and Myles Garrett lining up with each other would create nightmares for NFL offenses, but I think Saquon Barkley is just too talented, is too explosive for an offense that could greatly improve with him on the field. So I think it would be crazy if the Browns passed up with him or even traded their pick away. So Saquon Barkley, assuming he's still on the board, the Giants don't take him, he's going to the Cleveland Browns with the 4th pick overall. Then here, I've got the Buffalo Bills. The Denver Broncos actually do have the number 5 pick in the draft. I think the Broncos trade that pick. They have a fairly solid team right now. They struggled a little bit last year. If they want, they could pick up some guys on the offensive line. I think they've got a solid quarterback in Case Keenum right now coming over from Minnesota Vikings. Solid defense led by Von Miller. It wouldn't hurt them to trade, and the Bills still have the 12th pick in the draft, so the Broncos will not be dropping that far down, 5 to 12. The Bills trade up to get their franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma. So he finally gets picked. It is a top 5 pick for him. And 4 of the top 5 picks would be quarterback, which once again is not unheard of. This is a very quarterback-heavy class. A lot of talented QBs in this class. Some of the top quarterbacks I think will go definitely in the top 10. So Baker Mayfield going to the Buffalo Bills could be the answer for them. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But I do believe that the Broncos and Bills make a trade so the Bills can jump up there to get their franchise quarterback. And then the Colts sitting here at 6. Keep in mind, they did trade down just a little bit to the 6th pick. And I think they get Bradley Chubb on the defensive side of the ball. They definitely need a defensive bolster there. Defensive end, Bradley Chubb, probably the best defensive end in this class. Very, very talented. He's going to create nightmares for teams in the AFC South and all across the NFL. Extremely talented. Any team's going to be lucky to have him. That's why I do believe that if Barkley is taken earlier, the Browns will take him. But if the Colts are lucky enough, I think with Chubb still on the board, it's a no-brainer to take him there because he can definitely make some plays and be a game changer for them this upcoming season, especially assuming Andrew Luck is healthy. Colts could once again be a contender in the AFC South. Tampa Bay, Derwin James, a team that had a very, very poor defense last year, ranked very low in third down efficiency, passing defense. They're going to get a solid safety out of Florida State, staying in state with Derwin James, one of the top safeties, defensive players in college football last year. I know he dealt with some injuries as well, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stick with him to hopefully bolster that defense a little bit from a defense that was very, very weak last year. So that's what they definitely need. He's one of the top playmakers. The general consensus from all the mock drafts everywhere else is that he would most likely go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chicago Bears, they need offensive line needs and defensive needs, especially at the linebacker position, which is why I'm choosing Roquan Smith from Georgia to go here to the Bears. Now, a lot of people think that Roquan Smith will fall just a little less than that, maybe landing around the Raiders, potentially the Dolphins, but he is very athletic. He's fast for a linebacker. He's very dominant. We saw what he was able to do at Georgia. I feel this is a no-brainer. Unless he's chosen higher, which I do not think he will be, the Bears need to take him off the board. They need more help on the defensive side of the ball than they do need on the offensive side of the ball right now. Roquan Smith, like I said, is going to create nightmares for a lot. He's huge, he's fast, he's athletic. No-brainer for the Bears, assuming he's still up here. And the 49ers, sitting here at number 9, the number 9 pick, I think they take Quentin Nelson, the guard out of Notre Dame. They need some extra help. They need some defensive help, no doubt, and I think they will get that later on. But they bolstered up that defense a little bit in last year's draft. They need some more help protecting Jimmy Garoppolo, their franchise quarterback, who's still technically undefeated as starter for the San Francisco 49ers. They need some help bolstering up that line for him, hoping he doesn't get hurt, giving him a little extra protection. He's by far the best guard in this draft, probably the best offensive lineman in this draft. Quentin Nelson goes to the 49ers. He could be taken a little higher if the Broncos do not trade with the Bills. I could see him going as high as number 5. Potentially the Browns taking him at number 4. So, Barkley's off the board, but I think Nelson slips just a little bit to number 9. Still a top 10 pick, very respectable, and helps bolster that line to protect Garoppolo. And then finally, our last pick in this mini mock draft, the Oakland Raiders, led by new head coach Jon Gruden. They take Tremaine Edmunds, the linebacker out of Virginia Tech. Now, a lot of people think that Minkah Fitzpatrick could rise up here. There's been debate whether Minkah Fitzpatrick is better than Tremaine Edmunds. I think Tremaine Edmunds is just a little bit more pro-ready than Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he's got a little bit more athleticism, a little more speed, and a little more experience than Fitzpatrick. So I think he's going to be the best fit for the way Gruden runs his team and the way what he's trying to bring back to the Oakland Raiders. They definitely need some help on the defensive side of the ball. They still have a dominant linebacker as well with Khalil Mack. So that's something to keep our eye on. If you can throw Tremaine Edmunds along with them, very solid, some of their solid defensive players, Oakland's defense could be very, very daunting in the next few years as these players develop. So I think this is going to be the most solid pick for the Raiders, unless Roquan Smith is still on the board, in which case I think they would take them. But I have him going to the Bears as of right now. Now here's the thing. With the NFL draft, no one knows what's going to happen. This is just a mock draft. Anything can happen, but I do know this. It's going to be a very, very exciting night. Make sure you keep your eyes on it. Anything can happen. The order could be all over the place. There could be some trades. The only trade we have here right now is the Broncos trading with the Bills. But as you're watching this, there could be some trades that happen during tonight, which would totally screw up this order. Anything can happen. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be an unpredictable night. It's going to be an exciting night. But one thing is for sure, lives will be changed tonight. So make sure you go out there and watch the NFL Draft tonight starting at 7 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on The Gridiron Expert.